everyone, and welcome to She Rides, a podcast where women's cycling takes the lead. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Christoph, and today we're diving into the latest race results and hot topics in women's cycling.
And we have a guest joining us to share his story. Let's get started. Ready? Hello and welcome everyone to episode 17 of She Rides, the episode just before the classics. But to make it even better, we have also a guest with us today. Hi, Stijn.
Hi, good evening.
First, before you start, maybe can you introduce yourself real quick?
So I'm Stijn Steels. For the moment, I'm sport director at AG Insurance Soudal. I was a professional rider myself for about 10 years, and now I'm again into cycling, this time in women's cycling.
Welcome, Stijn. And like you told us before entering the Wolfpack as a sports director, you already had a cycling career yourself. Tell us a little bit more about that. What were your highlights, the key moments of your career? What are you most proud of as a former cyclist?
Well, I think my best years or most fun years were my last year in my career, where I could join the Wolfpack. I think racing next to legends was quite special for me. Most of the time I was put in the lead-out train where I could work with guys as Cavendish, Jacobsen, Bennett. It was quite special. Also race with Alaphilippe and Remco, and so that was really fun years for me. Also, 2 years before I joined the Wolfpack, I was racing together in the team with Wout van Aert and Tim Merlier, where I actually was a little bit of a guide for them. It was their first year, the first year where they had to do some classics, and I joined the team there, the Ronald Willems team, to actually guide them around in Flemish races. So that was really special for me. And now, if you see what level they achieve, I still feel proud when I see them racing. So those years, the Willems year and the Quick-Step years, were definitely the highlights in my career.
Wout van Aert became what he is today because of you, actually. You guided him through the Flemish roads.
No. But it's still, I still have quite a good contact with him, and I think the way we work together. I really actually guess he didn't have a clue how it worked in classics, and he trusted me for the full 100%.
Dangerous.
But it was still a really fun way to work. So that's also Merlier. He was a good sprinter, but he was not a top sprinter. And also, one time was so angry at him after a race. And he always says that's the moment I made a switch to being a top sprinter, because he was so angry that I didn't care to do it anymore like I used to do it. So, and I'm actually quite proud of it. So.
You should, Stijn. And then you decided to join the Wolfpack, but on the women's side, as a sports director. So what made you move to women's cycling? What's your link with women's cycling? Is it because of your link with the Wolfpack, or how did you decide, like, okay, I'm going to put my shoulders under the women's team, actually, because it's not...
Well, both. First, already I have a quite long history with Jolien Dore, who is like a sportive manager of the AG Insurance Soudal team. Already when I was a junior, already raced on track together with her. We did together some World Cups, World Championships. Then we met each other again at the University of Ghent, where we both studied physiotherapy. Jolien is 1 year younger than me, so she could borrow all my notes and all my... so that's how we got in touch. And then already 2 years ago, she contacted me if I wanted to join the team as a DS. That was a little bit too soon, but then last year the call came again, and then the combination of being more attached to the men's cycling team, where I still have had great contacts with everyone, and then being with a project that actually started almost from the bottom, trying to raise a new top team in women's cycling. That attracted me, and that's why I said yes. And I still don't regret it. It's a really fun team to work in. I think in a couple of months we already made huge steps in professionalism. And now now we'll see what it gives in the next months.
Mm.
That's good. And then take us for our audience who has no clue besides Marc Madiot shouting in a race car, or the DS just sitting behind steering the wheel in the races. Like just take us through it. What are you doing as a sports director actually, Stijn, for the club? Because it's a lot more than just shouting in the car like Marc Madiot does, right?
Actually, definitely in women's cycling, you actually almost everything you can imagine. Luckily this year we have really a lot of help from Elise, who does logistics for us. Even last year we had to plan all flights, look for hotels before races. Now still thinking about, because if you go to a race, you must think we're with mostly a team of about 15, 16 people at least. You must all get them to races, get them to hotels, see how they get to the airports. Like for example, now I did Australia, you must check yourself for all visa. You must make sure that everything is allowed on planes, all travel documents are fine. So there's really a lot of work before I even get to the race. Then also my job in the team is also being a little bit responsible for the material. So I have to test things for myself. And also, the women's team is part of also the men team. So in total, we have about 90 riders. So that means hundreds of bikes, more than 1,000 pairs of wheels that all should be checked. And so I'm also a little bit contact person in between team and mechanics. Then just, of course, chat and talk with the riders to make sure how they feel, because you can't go to a race without knowing how riders feel. So actually it's more, every day you get thousands of texts that things should be arranged or taken care of before you actually go to the race. And then the race itself, of course, is first make a big plan, not only again for the riders, but also for staff. How do you fit everybody into a racing program? You do some reckons, you write everything down, you talk to the riders, make a plan, make tactics, make presentations. And then once the race is done, it's mostly in the hands of the riders. But actually, it's quite a lot of work before you can even start a race.
Yeah, that's what I heard already often. Like the difference between a sports director in a men's team or in a women's team, it's a complete different job.
Yeah, but I must admit now, since this year, our staff grew quite a lot. It's already a big part that we don't need to take care of like all the flights, because we also, like last year after the race, you see like your girls from 5 countries. You make sure you must find flights for them, immediately after the race, but some have airports, all over the country. You must arrange transport for it. It's all big. In the end, it always turns out, but that's not my favorite. That was not my favorite hobby to do. So I'm glad that already is a bit out of my hands.
And after summarizing all your tasks here, Stijn, just what are the pros and the cons being a sports director?
Actually, in women's team, I like to be a sports director because I have the impression you can still do a lot with the girls. For most of them, they have the engine, but cycling is still quite new to them. I think if a man turns professional, mostly he has ridden already for like 5, 6, 7 years. He know how it works. And now mostly with the girls, you see they have the engine, but they don't have the tactics or the skills. And I feel, and already if you do a stage race after 3, 4 days, so you do really a lot of meetings with the girls. So after every stage race, we have quite a long talk to discuss everything. But then you see how they grow as a rider, and that's really nice. That's one of the biggest of the nicest points, I think, as being a DS in women's cycling, that you feel you can have an impact on the race. I think men's team, most of them know how it works, but here you can really have an impact on the race itself and on the riders.
That sounds very busy life, Stijn. Definitely. And is there any difference between a race day and a team camp, or just a normal period without races? Like during the winters, I think it's calmer, possibly.
Probably.
And then you have team camps.
Yeah, like for example, also something in November, we have to take care of all stupid thing of clothing. You have thousands of pieces of clothing that has to be divided, that have to be delivered, and that's also up to us. So, and then of course, the first important things are in already November. You try to make your first racing schedule to get both staff and girls having the schedule, because I think even for staff is the biggest puzzle, because every race you need 2 or 3 mechanics, 2 or 3 soigneurs, bus drivers. So, and most of them work fixed for the team, but you also have freelancers, but then they need to make sure already they have their racing schedule in August, so they can ask for a holiday. So that's already a big puzzle to plan. We have over, I think, 60 or 70 cars. So always make sure where is what car, is it all. So that's the November puzzle. And then training camp itself is actually quite easy for us at the S. That's more for the trainers that arrange those things. We are there. We organize meetings after the training just to teach them some stuff. So I think one out of 2 evenings we have workshops about everything: nutrition, training, food, everything you can imagine. Then in January season starts, and then we go from race to race. And then hopefully, thought it would be a little bit calmer by now, but still it's every moment. Like now, two minutes ago, I think now it's almost 9:30. I got a phone that somebody's bike isn't delivered at the right place. You know, that's so really, it's all those kinds of things. It's all small things, but in the end, you're busy the whole day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I guess that's not the common image that our audience has from a sports director. So good you cleared that up for us, Stijn. Think twice before you go into an offer for a sports director of a women's team.
But it is fun. It's a fun job. Actually, it's 7 out of 7, and actually you don't have a starting or a finishing out, but it's a lot of fun. You see the world, and you have a lot of adrenaline. That's why I do it for, to just have a kick in the race itself. It's a fun job, but you need to be awake 24/7.
And then maybe we can look back a bit and look forward to the coming season. So there are a lot of new faces in the team this season. Which score on 10 would you give the team on their transfer period?
I would say an 8. Think definitely with for a moment with Alex Manley and Gladys Verhulst. I think we made 2 quite important transfers. Really important in the group itself. So on Saturday we have Omloop Nederland. I'm quite convinced they will both make it in the first group, and they have a fast sprint. But this is really important for our team just to collect the points. They will never be the big favorites, but they are super smart girls. They can race. So those are really 2 important signings for us. And then I think later on in the season, when we go more to the climbing races, I think with Uska can also do some really nice results uphill. So those are really important transfers for us.
Mm-hmm.
How good a classics rider is Gladys Verhulst then? Because I'm not asking this for a personal opinion. For me, I'm not going to use this info personally for the sports wheeler manager, but I'm probably interested. How is she in Flanders?
Well, in the past, for example, I think she did podium in Plouay, which is for women's cycling always one of the biggest classics of the year. And now I think she was getting a little bit lost in FDG. And now she returned in the team, and when I saw her racing during UAE, I was actually quite impressed. We know she's not the top sprinter, but the way she was fighting in the F-Land, the way how she battled herself through in the bunch towards the sprint, gave me a lot of confidence that I think can do a lot of top 10 spots in those classic races.
I took notes then. Thank you.
And then maybe which races have you already covered this season, and how did they go?
So I started in Australia, which is already a block of almost a month. It was actually quite fun. For us, it was, of course, normally we were going there with Sarah Gigante to defend a win. But unfortunately, she was out with a surgery. So we had to make like a new plan. And now the goal was actually to learn Justine Kira how to ride as a leader. Last year, of course, she's an exceptional cyclist, but she always was racing with early attacking. And I want her to make the switch to race like a real leader, so to wait and just go only for the result. For her, it was quite a switch in her mind, but she did well. Finished sixth in the overall of Down Under, which was really a good result for her. So I'm already happy that she can take this through towards Omloop. We saw already Australian girls were at level. And then I saw team fighting. I don't like it. The first stage, it was the cost that I don't like it when you have like 6 riders between place 10 and 25. I hate it actually. So we had to set things straight. And then in the last races, I really saw a team working for one leader and go for the best possible result. Was a bit of shame that Justine crashed out in Cat 11th. Also a one day World Tour race. Otherwise, she's also in the first group, probably sprinting for victory. That would make it completely a success or Australian trip. But it was actually quite good. And then one day, I just for one day joined the Valencia. Just Danny Christmas was there or DF, but I paused by for one day just to see the girls racing, because before the upcoming classics, I'd rather see them racing all, so we can have like the right impression. That was a bit of mixed, because we started with some Diva riders also in the selection, so we know it would be hard for them. But there I was really pleased to see Lourdes Scheper racing and Mireia Benito racing. Fortunately, Valencia was not that hard as it used to be. I think if we had an uphill finish, I'm quite sure we would have had 2 in top 10 of GC. Now they all finished like in the same second for place 9 till 23, and we lost unfortunately some nice GC spots there, but the girls were in shape, and that was for me the most important.
And maybe what were the results so far from this season or from last season? What made you feel the most proud?
Actually, most proud was just, of course, you all remember Tour de France was really, really good. But the stage I'm most proud of was a stage in Simaku, where it would be 100% bunch sprints, and I really asked the girls the final 60k to race like idiots to give everything they had, because I had the impression that we really could do something in the race. And then it ended up that with 50k to go in small parts, and suddenly there was a break of, I think, 12 girls with 3 of us in. As the works couldn't close the gap. All other girls didn't want to help us in the breakaway, so we always had to pull with 2 and saving Wollaston for the end. And I'm still regretting it. We lost in the end the stage with 1 centimeter, finishing second, but still the way they rode there, that was for me an example how I want the team to race. And that's for me still the moment I'm most proud of. We also celebrated afterwards as a victory, just to show them I was really proud of them. We had a drink in the bus, because I was so proud of them the way they raced. That's for me still a highlight until now.
So, of course, I think last year, in comparison with the year before, was an amazing year for the team with incredible performances such as Justine Akira in the Giro and the Tour, and Kim McCourt being one of the revelations of 2024. If we're looking ahead, where do you believe or think the team can improve compared to last year?
I am quite ambitious, but I think it's realistic. I want Kim to be podium in a Sunday Classic. I think I think she will be one of the favorites for San Remo, and I think we should go there for victory. Of course, we will have. I think Kopecky will be hard to beat over there, but I think we should go full for victory in San Remo. Same for races as Amstel, maybe Strade, Liège. Those are races where a team really can go, and I think especially Kim. For Justine, I think already in Omloop she can do really well. Also, Dwars van Vlaanderen is a race that should suit her now. So that from those one-day races, I hope for them. And ultimate dream is a bit if Sarah comes back with 2 healthy legs that she can go for podium in GC. Yeah, for podium in GC for in Giro or Tour, that would be the end goal. But I believe it's possible. So I think it's really ambitious, but I believe we can do it. So that are the goals this year.
And
Nice.
what's the role for Ashley Moolman this year, Stan? Is she more evolving to a more mentorship role now? That she's or
You know, for herself, she's still fighting to be a leader in the team, and she still has the ambition. She had a bit of a wake-up call in UAE because it didn't go as we expected. She also realized it developed, but I still believe, yes. Yeah, last year she really struggled after a crash, but when she came back, she immediately finished 4th in Romania, which was really a hard race the week before Worlds. So I still believe she has the level to do top 10s in World Tour stage races. In her mind, she's still completely fixed on Flash Wallon. There she will be the leader of the team. But in all other races, of course, she will have girls like Laura de Schepper or Sarah Gigante, or she never will be, except for Flash Wallon, be the sole leader of the team. And that's a role she can only benefit from it. But for her, it's of course quite a new experience.
Mm-hmm. And maybe to end this part of the questions, who do you think who will surprise us the most from the team this year?
Surprising name, I think Nicole Steenga. She was out for 2 years after a concussion, so she couldn't race for 2 years. And then August last year, suddenly we got the message, okay, she can ride a bike again. She can train more than half an hour, which was already a big success. And then I saw her in a training camp, and she was in December, she was sprinting so fast. I actually never thought it for women sprinting so fast as she did. Now the only thing she needs to do is get her engine back running after 2 years without competition. Well, I'm convinced she will win races. Once she has gained the skills of riding in a bunch and go for sprints, she's super fast. She showed already, it sounds a bit stupid, but I just asked her, try already to sprint in qualification sprints in Australia. And then she did some sprints where she came from 30 meters behind, but she still beat all the others. So pure speed, she's super fast. And I hope like in April, May, she will be there.
She's on her way back, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And anyone from the Devo team you see for a breakthrough, Stan, who might surprise us in some bigger races? Or is it a bit too early yet? Is it just...
I think it's a bit too early. Why? Because now we have a lot of really young, promising girls, but a lot of first-year Devo. I think with Amandine Muller is a really strong girl. But now she just had a surgery, so she will return quite late in the season. For Milan-San Remo, I'm thinking latter races as a leader or as a sprinter. She should be capable of doing some nice results. Same for Helena Jones. But I don't think we won't have a girl like last year with Laura. That's a bit too optimistic, I think. But I think in next year and in 2 years' time, again, some girls will be really capable of making the step towards their world team.
Yeah, no pressure, just let them grow this season and see where it goes. That's a good attitude for the youngsters. And then for our listeners, maybe Stan, could you explain us a little bit more the team structure of AG Insurance, Soudal? Because of course everybody knows the World Tour team, of course, that's obvious with the big names. But that's not the only team that's under the AG Insurance Soudal umbrella, right? It's
correct.
A bigger
so
structure.
We have the Devo team. Yeah. But if you take the whole structure, we have 5 teams. Because now we're really working together with Mass Team. It's all on the same company is the wrong word because AG is actually the owner of our team, but we're all under the same roof. But we're one of the few teams that have a Devo team and an elite team, which is not an easy combination in women's cycling, as actually there's no such thing as the development category. They just have to do the same races as that's a bit a hard puzzle. So for the moment now we have 13 development riders and then 19 World Tour riders. They can race together, so we can only World Tour teams. The World Tour team has to start in World Tour races, but for all the other races we can make a mix. For example, we can start with 5 World Tour riders and 2 Devo riders. And then we're also doing some stage races and smaller races only with the Devo team, just to also let them experience how it is to ride as a team. But I must admit, it's a difficult puzzle. Definitely now, quite a lot of races are getting cancelled, unfortunately. So it's a big puzzle to get everybody on the race. But we do the best we can, and I think for the girls, it's a good step because the tendency with women's cycling is after juniors they become immediately pro, but it's too hard for them. If they have to do a whole season in World Tour level, you see that talents really get broken. So I really believe in our Devo team, but it's a bit hard with the calendar for the moment to combine everything.
It will be good when the Spanish block arrives that you have a Devo team to put from as well, because it can sometimes be really heavy on the smaller size teams. Let's say if you only have 12 riders, then once the Spanish block starts after the Ardennes Classics.
That's the issue now, because every day we get updates about racing. Of course, we have our Spanish blocks, so we're almost 1 month gone with Vuelta, with Burgos and Julia, all World Tour races, so we can't put the Devo riders in. But then in Belgium, suddenly, that's also the month that there are a lot of races going on. But then you have like Gracia, you have Tour de Féminin for the under 23, and you have all those one-day races. But then suddenly they are everywhere, so you can't do them all. Because also, again, pure logistically, you only have 4 DSs, you only have 1 or 2 buses. You can't be at 10 places at the same time. But May will be quite busy, but it's more like in the beginning, it's more in March and April that the puzzle is quite hard to fit.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, it's not just a team, right? The Wolfpack, Insurance Soudal. Can you just tell us briefly what's the vision of the project of the team now going forward?
Well, actually, so we had our team presentation today, and I was also quite pleased to hear from journalists who were there. We tried to have a lot of fun. I think that's also definitely women's cycling. Just try to be less stressed and have quite a lot of fun, and just act like one big group. We even work with like kind of mentorship programs where World Tour riders are involved with the under 23 riders to guide them. And if we don't just pick if we see that the rider has big potential but won't fit with her character in the team, we just don't accept them anymore. In the past there were some problems with some riders, and now we just go, okay, she's a girl that also fits mentally in the team, and so it's really important to have a good group so you can work with them. Mm-hmm. That's a bit one of our strengths in the team.
And then the ultimate goal of the team, Stijn, is it winning the Tour de France Femmes, or is it more refined than that? Because that's a classic answer for every team, I think.
Of course, it is. I think if you can win, if you can just win World Tour stage race, would be already quite an achievement, because there you really need a team. I think and to be there, everybody must be at level. I think now again, I'm really a believer for the moment in Sarah. I think she really has the potential to do that. I also believe in 2 or 3 years' time, Laura must be able to go for really big results in the Grand Tours. So I think a couple of years' time we will have the team, but it won't be easy. But every year we're growing, and if I see the steps we already set compared to last year when I joined the team, it's really nice to see how it works, and we will get there in the end.
Mm-hmm. For sure, we believe. Yeah. That's good. That's a really nice insight into the AG Insurance Soudal structure, Stijn, for our listeners as well. I think this was very interesting as well. Of course, that's not the only thing that happened. The team presentation of AG Insurance. We had some latest news, some final wrap up of the cyclocross season. Sar, it's done. It's dusted.
I think it's time that cyclocross it's been enough. But of course, the main thing that happened last weekend is that Sonnekant retired from cyclocross and cycling. So that was a pretty big thing. I think we can't underestimate it. We can't underestimate it. What she did for the sports, for cyclocross, women's cyclocross. So yeah, that was a huge thing. I also have to say I officially blacklisted Elaine Clozel. Just beating Sonnekant so closely. So she became fourth. That was the only sad thing that happened there. And of course, not a surprise, Brandt won. And then just a little mention for my good prediction. At least I got 1 out of 3 with Chili Brouwers on 5. So yeah,
Congrats,
that was a cyclocross. Thank you. So that was a cyclocross season. I think the big winners are Fem van Empel and Lucinda Brandt.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And for the people who might just know Sonnekant from her last 2-3 seasons, don't forget where she came from. She beat Marianne Vos. She raced against them. So she's quite a big name that's hanging up her bike. If you might have forgotten what she did in the past, it's not only the results from her last 2-3 seasons.
Yeah, for sure. Because
don't forget.
For my French class, I had to write an article, and I can thank my teacher for giving me the team sport. So now I'm looking back on all her career and trying to write something about it. So if you really see it, everything she has done and she has completed, it's crazy. It's really crazy.
I think she inspired a lot of young women to race the bike. So that alone makes her a legend. So good luck, Sonne. Enjoy your retirement. You now bike for fun. Don't forget that. And then we had also the Classica Almeria, Sar, like Sportive said, the Australian ace rider for FDG Suez. They had no clue that it's Ali Wollaston, but Ali took the win there. That might be no surprise. No surprise post the Olympic year, post the Olympic track cycling year. She's completely back. Sorry, Stijn. It might hurt you.
that hurt a bit, yeah. I think seeing Ellie go to another team is probably our biggest loss for last year.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is. Yeah, laws of finances also count in cycling. But it's a shame she was gone because, of course, you saw speed-wise she was super fast. And yeah, you didn't have to know a lot of cycling just to see that she will continue to grow to a top rider and now see her win all those races for FDG. It hurts a bit.
But good for her.
Good for her in this.
So, and now I don't think there's anything we need to do before finally we are able to talk about the spring classics again. It has been long enough. So maybe before we will really start previewing them, maybe so since the spring classics are around the corner, what are the goals and the ambitions for the team?
For us, I think I just want to be present in the final for every race. I'm already happy if you see that until the real final starts and we are there. That's for me already quite important. So I think in Omloop, as the race normally will go, I hope to have at least 2 girls that are surviving the move, Bosberg. So I just want to be there in the final. And then if we're up there one day or another, a big result will follow. But I don't want to be like the last hour of the race, just in the car or in front of my television and thinking we need to race for 20th spots. That would be a bit of a shame. I just want to be there in the final. And then
No
Nice.
6 riders between 15 and 25 for you.
No, definitely not.
So, of course, the most famous race is on Saturday. The first one of the opening weekend, as long as we can still call it the opening weekend, of course.
Yes, we can.
So we have the Omloop het Nieuwsblad, but of course we can't forget on Saturday there's the Omloop het Hageland. And we will also be previewing Le Samyn, I think, since our episode will be coming probably the day after online. So our next. Before we do our famous and very good 1, 5, 10 predictions, maybe we should just look ahead to the Omloop first. First, I think it's still like the start of the season. Gonna be a bit strange to see all the different names at different teams, right, Christoph?
Yes, in our preparations, I just was looking for Vollering under the Team SD Works riders, but then I just realized, nope, she's not there anymore. But for sure, one takeaway I just see that without Lotte Kopecky this season, it's like I have no idea actually who's gonna win. It's like 10, 15 riders who could possibly win the Omloop this year.
Mm-hmm.
So just expecting that Demi is not really 100% in form yet. She shouldn't be, I think.
I think if you saw her racing in Valencia, I wouldn't doubt too much. I think pure individually, she will be by far the strongest of the bunch, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's quite far to go, and I'm not sure if she can hold it until the finish line, but she will definitely be in the first group.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Yeah.
She's strong enough to do that, and she's not prone to SD Works team tactics anymore. I just had to mention it, sad. Yeah. So that makes her even more dangerous.
Talking about SD Works, we have, of course, Lorena Wiebes, also one of the favorites, I think, and also Marta Lack, new in the team, and with Misha Bredewold, I think they have one leader and some maybe outsiders who can also do something. So it will be interesting to see if they really choose an open race or really go all in for Wiebes. But knowing as it works and knowing they don't really like leading the pack, I think we will see Bredewold and Marta Lack do some interesting moves there.
Especially
I think
Bredewold.
for the moment, I'm more convinced of Bredewold than about Lack. I think Bredewold really did give a really good impression in Valencia. I think she's for the moment a little bit stronger than Lack. And then Wiebes, of course, is always strong. But I think it will be more up those two than up to Lack to do the final.
Is it possible for you to text Misha Bredewold, Stijn? She seems to me a rider like she could win every race and she can just ride every race. That she's like, oh yes, Misha rode the race. And then all of a sudden she pops up and she wins quite a big race, and it's like, okay, where did that come from?
I must admit, I don't know her that well, I must admit. Also maybe because of that reason, but I just saw like, she won the stage. She won a stage in Valencia. Last stage she was up there when Laura was attacking on the mounts. She didn't really help Laura a lot, but she was there. So she's really strong, and of course, she will get stronger every year, and she's growing to one of the world's best cyclists. And so she will. I guess she will be there on Saturday.
But indeed, that win before Balsamo was really impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, correct. Also quite a hot stage. So that means she has the engine to go for it. She has the sprint after a tough race. And that's something you need in Nederland.
Mm-hmm. We also have Nivea Doma. I don't think it's really her time or...
For me, that's a big question mark for the whole season. I have no idea how she digested her Tour de France farm win. I have no idea. That's it can be amazing and it can be not so amazing. So I'm very curious to see Kasia in action.
It's not gonna be easy, yeah. Like in the past season, she has proven that winning isn't her strongest aspect. So coming in as the winner of the Tour de France and Flèche Wallonne won't be easy for her, I think, this spring.
Yeah, last year was a fairy tale, and this year she's gonna have to handle the pressure that comes with it, I think. So.
And actually, but I don't know if she already has so much experience. It's not that she was a 22-year-old that won the Tour de France. She's always been a really good rider. It's only the winning aspect was lost for quite a while. But I guess definitely when Amstel and Flèche are coming, you will see her at her top level, I guess. But for now, maybe
just too early.
Yeah. And also the same in Valencia. Valencia was not that super hard. If there was a stage more uphill finish line, then it was a real test. She wasn't up there the first stage, but from other stages you can't really tell anything. So it's a bit too soon to indicate her level.
And then of course also fresh from cyclocross, Buck Pieterse is on the participants list. So exciting if she can do if she can go further on what she was doing last year. I have actually no idea what she's gonna do. I just
that's
and of course Schweinberger, always very good in the classics, is also someone to look out for, I think.
I have the impression they didn't start that well in the season. I think the whole team of Phoenix didn't have the big results yet. So Omloop is a new start, but actually I don't have the highest expectations of them for the moment.
Okay. We also have Talita de Jong. She already won a race this year at her new team, so always exciting to see. I think last year she was also pretty good there. So
yeah, she's gonna pop up in my predictions soon. So yeah, I think that she's strong enough. She proved it last year as well. So Talita de Jong, the Omloop, it's an option for me. Yeah, sure.
I think her win in Spain was incredible. How strong she looked on the climb. It was, I think, maybe the best performance I saw of her. So really, really impressive. So definitely one of the big favorites for Saturday.
I'm also thinking Reusser is looking very good after her time of the bike. It's always a bit different in the classics, but I think Reusser will have a good season, actually. And then
also again.
And then someone we also need to talk about, Mieke Dox, our guest, is of course also riding the Omloop. I was convinced I was gonna do a hot take for my predictions, but Mieke was just a little too hot. I think she will get that, but yeah, exciting to see what she will do in the classics. For the moment, I don't have place in my Sportive Wheeler Manager team, but it's not Mieke's fault, it's Sportive's fault. So
there's plenty of money, Sarah. You can buy anyone you want in the women's game, apparently.
It's way too easy.
Yeah.
And then also, just for the whole classics, actually, I'm looking out for Ingvild Gashen. I think she did a good season last year, and I think if she can set another step, she will show some beautiful things. And then, of course, you also have like Pfeiffer Georgie. Now you have Lonneke Uneke. Gone from SD Works at Volkers Wessels, like what's her role gonna be, and can she really do what she wants, saying I want to ride finals in classics and semi-classics. Can she really do that? That's like a big question mark for me. We also have Persico, Paternoster. So
that was the one I was waiting for, because for me, Persico is the big favorite for Saturday.
Yeah, really? I have her in my top 5, but not as a big favorite.
It was
just
really
based on UAE.
Impressed. And also racing in Spain, and then what she did in UAE, that was for me pure class. So for me, I think she's the big favorite for me.
Interesting. I didn't dare, Stijn. I was maybe, but nice. And then just a completely different question, Stijn. What do you expect from the new Belgian Conti team, DD Group Pro Cycling team? They seemed very active in Spain, but probably they want to show themselves because they're new. So
but for new, it will be way too hard. Actually, if I need to be honest, if they get 2 girls to the finish line, that's already a success. I think this sounds maybe a little bit harsh, but the level of being in normal races or your first classic, that's a big difference. I think most of the girls, I think they won't know what happened when they ended the first couple of seconds. So I hope they can just make it to the finish line, but I wouldn't have too much expectation, because the difference in level is just too much.
Yeah. And then I don't know if there's. Do we need to point someone out?
Pointed out 10 people already. Like I said,
so
it's a little lottery.
Actually, but you don't talk a lot about our girls, about Justine, about Madly, about
of course.
Because you already
they are highlighted on my list. They are highlighted on my list. Of course.
That's why I was picking your brain about Gladys Verhulst. I was like, okay. How will she fare in Flanders? I'm very curious.
Yeah. No, I just love your team. I love the vibe around it, so I hope you can show some nice things during the classic. So,
2 riders in the top 10, Stijn, and no 6 between 15 and 25. So
voilà. Therefore, I sign immediately.
That's a deal then.
Voilà.
Maybe we can do our predictions now. Yeah. So I don't know if do you want to start, Stijn, with your predictions?
So I say 1, 5, and 10, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, on 1 I have Persico, 5 Reusser, and on 10 I have Ruth Edwards.
Nice.
So I changed my first one to Bredewold. First I was doing luck. Yeah. I don't know. Bredewold. Still a hot take.
So young and so influenced by Stijn.
I will pick luck another time. In her career. Anyways, I also had Reusser on 5. And I had Ingo Gashen on 10.
And I have Talita de Jong on 1. I didn't go as bold as Stijn for Persico. I have Persico on 5. And then just for once, I just played with my heart and I go for Emma Norsgaard on 10. She needs a result. I mean, come on. Just do it.
Okay, we will see a lot of hard predictions from your side, actually.
Talita de Jong was just calculation. Persico 2.
And then Omloop Hageland, maybe we can keep that a little shorter. Van der Breggen is starting.
Right.
That's the most
about out of her comfort zone, huh?
Yeah. So, and also Skylar Schneider, after being out of the World Tour peloton a long time. It's also special, I think. A lot of newcomers there, actually, at SD Works. And then we also have Zoe Beckstedt racing. Puk Pietersen again. Schweinberger. Pfeiffer Georgie is also racing again. So Attosalo, Liederiksen, Alzini from the track.
That's for the summer nach Tussalo.
That's
yeah.
the difference what I wanted to explain with our Devo team. So like, for example, we start with our Devo team in Hageland. But you know, for those girls, it's, most of them, I think I will have to call them afterward just to explain that it's normal. They suffer that hard. So that's a bit what I mean. It's quite difficult to race with the Devo team when you have to do those races. But they can only learn from it. But it's, it all first and second years almost. So that's a bit the difference. If then immediately you have to start racing Van der Breggen, it's quite hard.
Yeah. Do you want to point something out, Christophe, about this? Charlotte Kool is also starting.
Are there hills
Julie
in
de Wilde,
Hageland?
Consoni. What?
Are there hills in Hageland?
The last winners, there was no edition in 21. Bastianelli won in 22. Wiebes won in 23. They both won 2 times. And last year it was Faulkner who won before Bredewold and Georgie. So
not flat enough for Cole then. It needs to be below sea level before I predict her.
I don't know. Zoe Backstedt, I would like that.
For UNOX?
Yeah. Just, something, another race that shouldn't be forgot, of course, in the weekend. And then we have also Le Samen with, again, Mieke Dok starting. Maybe top 10. She did it before, so let's see. And then, of course, we have last year's winner, Guazzini, starting. In the same team, also Ali Wollaston. We also have Charlotte Kool, Attosalo, Wiebes, Paternoster, Baker, Rosamund Gannon, Barbieri, Gillespie, Varoyen, Alzini.
Barbieri gonna race?
She's on my list at the moment, but...
Will she be recovered already?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sophie van Rooyen, Lara Gillespie. I want to see Sophie van Rooyen come more up front. I expected her already in the beginning of the season. Attosalo for the summit. Finally, just win it, Anina.
Only one name you need to know: Gladys Verhulst for summit.
Exactly. Yes, she's a.
Voila.
All right. Nice.
Stijn is feeling that we don't give enough attention to the insurance Soudal riders.
Oh, Bob Jansen is also racing. Also exciting. Alana Kastrik. I can now just say the whole team. But no. Nice team.
For us, actually, it's a race. It's a little bit of special because, we have quite a strong midfield, if I cannot tell it like that, for our classic. And they have to fight for positions to get in selection, for example, for races at Nokere, Wevelgem, Ronde, Roubaix. And actually, Samenis will be a race where most of them can just show them what they got. They won't be bounded. They won't be, they can race freely.
Yeah.
Until the end, except, of course, if it goes toward the sprint, we have Nicole and we have Gladys, but all others, I just want to see them race. So that will be, from our point of view, a quite interesting race to see what it gives towards the rest of the race. So.
For my team Coop Repsol shout, Saar, just take an eye on Camilla Ron.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah. Camilla Ron's Bier, now that she has some XP points in Flanders. She once she knows the roads, then she can. Of course, she's not gonna win, obviously. That's too hard. But top 10, top 15, same with Eline van Rooyen. Should be possible.
Okay. Should be possible. Nice. Then maybe if we look a bit further ahead, of course we have the return of Milano-San Remo for women. Maybe we should talk first. What are our opinions about that?
I'm first gonna listen to what you say, because San Remo I'm already dreaming for months about San Remo.
Sweet dreams or
So-
nightmares there?
Sweet dreams. And again, today on the press conference, I talked to most of the girls on the selection with the girls I go to San Remo. So I think will be a really interesting race. So first, I'm gonna listen to you. What do you think? I'll take my notes.
Stan is a man with a plan.
Yeah. So I like that there is a female version now. So I like that about it. I also, just because I think it will be a nice race on the women's side, think it adds something to the classics that are already existing. And for sure, if you have like a monument and then the female part of it, it will always get more attention than a standalone race. So I like those things. I like those things about it, but the thing that makes it a bit complicated is with Milano-San Remo being there. It's hard for Binda because it was already, if you saw it in the perception with the other races, it was already getting smaller and less important, maybe not in the peloton, but from the cycling world, it didn't get too much attention anymore. And now with Milano-San Remo going there, it's gonna be only get worse for Binda. And I think for the organization who is organizing the race for so long, that's a bit sad. But of course, there being Milano-San Remo for women is something I love. Yeah.
It's a good thing that we have a big race back on the calendar as well. Don't sell it as more people will watch women's cycling because it's a race in Italy and we just know that's just 1 hour of coverage with 20 minutes pre-race interviews and 20 minutes post-race interviews and just 20 minutes of coverage. So don't sell it like that. So they might surprise me, hopefully. But it's good. It's on the calendar. It's a new race. It's a new edition. It's branded as a classic, as a monument at the men's side. So it will give some publicity to the women's race as well automatically. But on the other hand, like you said, Saar, it's a bit sad for Trofeo Binda, of course. But that's just the way the women's cycling is growing and evolving, I think.
I think for the moment, and it's what you said. Like I said, I don't have that long of experience in women's cycling, but for the moment now, I will rather have podium in San Remo than win Binda, because it will give so much publicity on San Remo. So for me, it's already one of the most important races of the year, although it's the first time it's organized. So I'm actually really happy the girls can do it. But indeed, it's sad for Binda. But
you have a plan, Stan. I could just feel it. You're very excited about San Remo.
I believe 100% that we can have like both Kim and Justine in the final, and then I think the race is made for Kim. So I think we will start full for victory, and I really believe it's possible. So,
if we compare it to the men's classic, we know. How do you think, like in terms of riders competing for the win? Do you think it will be more for less for like sprinters and classic types, and more for the riders that are more punchier?
I think it will be, of course, the difference is in men's race they have Turquino before, which is a really hard climb. The ladies don't have it, but still I think if they just go all out on Cipressa, maybe 20 will survive. And then again racing on Poggio, so I think it will be a really small bunch that goes to the finish line for a sprint. I think it will be more, it aren't hard climbs, but just if they go full gas on it, I think only the real climbers plus a girl like Lotte can survive. But that's a bit the gamble. That's a bit the tricky part of having a first race. If they don't race and the pace is slow, because Poggio is not hard. It's 3-4%. Normally everyone can survive it. But just if they go full gas up Cipressa, there will be not a lot of girls will be left on to go towards Poggio. So expect more of a climbing race than being it a real sprinters race or a classics race.
Yeah, maybe it turns out completely different than the men's edition, because maybe we were just blindfolded by the men's edition. We were like, just watching the sea, watching the spring, and I was like, oh, the sun is shining in Italy,
I would
and then
love
it's like,
that, to be
okay,
honest.
are we there yet? This is the most common sentence you just say to yourself when you're watching Milano-San Remo.
Yeah.
But maybe we're just blindfolded. Maybe it's completely different tactics and races at the women's side.
Yeah, and
So-
that's the fun part, that nobody has any kind of history, because women's racings are completely different compared to men's racing. It's always the biggest, for me also as a DS, sometimes, if this was a men's race, this would happen, but now in women's cycling has their own rules. So also for the San Remo, it will a little bit be a gamble, and that's what makes it quite exciting race. But just do Cipressa Poggio, do the Capi, and then finishing San Remo, I think it's beautiful for women's cycling.
Okay, nice. And then maybe something that maybe we might forgot a little bit too much. There are also some sprint classics, of course, like apart from the big names as like Wiebes, Balsamo, Consoni. Who do we like, let's say, see there competing for places 5 to 10 or something?
And what race?
Just the sprinters classics.
Oh, they're always the same, eh? Cool. I think Gillespie will be doing some nice sprints, I guess. Like you said, I need to check my list there. I don't know what. I think Atosalo will do some good sprints. I don't know if Scarlett Soren can now continue on the way she was riding last year, if she can improve again. Then I'm actually quite curious if Ali, she did really well until now, but if she also can make a step in Belgian Classics. Because in the past, positioning wasn't really her thing, which is a little bit more important, of course, in races in Flanders. She had the speed, but will she get there? It's a little bit of a gamble. Also, like you said, Sophie van Rooyen, last year she was strong. Also, again, will she do it again? And on world tour level, because indeed in UAE she was not that good. But to be honest, you only have 3 top sprinters, and all the rest is more about positioning. And if you're there just in the wheel and you can follow the slipstream, as easy as it sounds, it's not super hard to get those close results. It's just almost impossible to beat girls like Wiebes or Cole or Balsamo. That top 3 combined with Ali, those 4 are actually, it's a higher level than all others. And 10 girls behind them, it's just about positioning and just trying to hold the wheel and staying up on your bike, and then you'll get there. But that's possible for quite a lot of girls.
Yeah. I'm also curious to see what Veenhoven and Coles Lister can do, like, but more for like places 5 to 10. But maybe we should go like a bit wider again. If we like preview for the whole classic season, of course, I think most logically, if we think logically, in terms of dominating, it will probably be Lutz Kopecky, Demi Vollering. Don't think that would be surprising. But who are other riders we see dominating from like the start of the season, the start of the classics till like the end, like?
The difficult one to add someone to as a dominator, as we have already quite some dominators on the highest level already, who are not really keen to give their place to someone else. So if I have to pick a young rider, then just close your ears. I might just say Ali Wollaston. She can make the leap. But
I'm a fan of Ali, yeah.
I know, for sure. No, if I just see one young rider who can take that leap towards a dominator, it might be her. All the rest,
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it
Yeah.
yet. Probably.
Of course, like not in dominating, but I think Reusser after her long COVID last year, I think she will be up there at quite a few classics again, and also Chloe Dygert will do well. I
That
think
was how I
if
was
you
going
saw
to
her
mention.
racing in Australia, yeah, that was
In Australia, she was
just
just
impressive.
she was just playing with the bunch. It was just
Mm-hmm.
already from the first stage, the moment she said, "Okay, now I will race everybody," she could drop the whole bunch just on flat roads. So she was so impressive. But I don't know actually what happened in UAE. For the moment, she also has no more races on her schedule, so it's a bit unclear what's happening. But pure the power she had now, I immediately made a call to Yolina. Said she's so unbelievably strong this year. If she has that level in classics, she will be for all classics the girl to beat, I think, because it was so impressive to watch her racing.
Then maybe one that Christophe will like to talk about. Who do you see take the disaster class prize?
uh, can I say as they works the Tour de France Femme?
Oh.
With Anna van der Breggen competing on a high level, and she already said she will work for Lotte Kopecky in the Tour de France Femme. So I'm pretty curious how that will unfold actually once it's Tour de France Femme time. So that might be the disaster
I
class.
think now, if you see how she was climbing already now,
Yeah.
I'm not that convinced she will work for Lotte.
I have my popcorn stash already, Stijn.
Because those attacks of Demi were so strong. I think if she can do that on several calls, it will be quite hard for Lotte to always. I think Lotte can respond to it 1 or 2 times. But Lotte climbs unbelievably good, but she's not a real climber. And I think if Demi keeps on going in the calls, I'm afraid Lotte will eventually crack. And I'm not sure if Van der Breggen will crack. So will be a big question mark in those races, I guess.
Yeah.
It'll
be interesting to say the least.
Yeah. I'm manifesting that Anna van der Breggen is just speaking the truth.
I'll go for I'll do maybe they won't be happy that I said, because from disaster I'm a bit scared for the picnic team, because they really had a bad start of the season. Don't know what happened to them, because they have no results. If girls are in trouble, they're always with 3-4 girls from the gun that are dropping. Well, on paper, of course, they have some strong girls, but their start was really not good. So I'm curious how they will keep up again from next week on.
Yeah,
that's an interesting take, then, because you have more a view on what happens at the back of the peloton, of course, as a DS. You see them just wander away. That's something we don't see. It's just like, okay, we just see the end result. It's like, something maybe happened, but you're in the middle of the action, of course. Yeah, that's an interesting take.
For me, they were never. You have some were there. Barbieri had one good result, and then of course Cole had a good sprint, but not. I think they never show their. They're never there as a team as far. You don't expect that from a team like Picnic. So I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced for the moment by their strength.
I'm also keeping an eye on Charlotte Cole. She still has to show she's the fastest sprinter from the back. Not the best take to make in an interview, I think, but still some races to prove that. Then a team that surprises everyone during the classic will just go for AG Insurance, I think, on that one.
Of course, is there any other take?
I wouldn't dare say another team, no. But I believe in it.
No, and I must admit also, you and Power start quite well on the season, and also X they're racing quite good.
Yeah.
So those are teams you don't expect them to be racing for victory, but now they really did a lot of quite good races. So they also stepped forward in the game. So those can be two surprising teams.
Yeah,
Nice.
X was good with Linda Zanetti as well.
Yeah.
But she could sprint, but she's now like.
But it's really they're racing quite strange for the moment. Like also, like I think, if they start with 6 riders, 3 of them are dropped from the start, and the other 3 are doing the final. So it's really hard to draw a line in the average level of the team. But the first riders are always in the mix for victory. They're racing aggressively, so it's nice. It's a nice team to watch. But I'm just a bit curious. Yeah, it's really strange that half of the team is going really good, the other half is really nowhere. But every time they're up there for victory, so they're doing quite okay.
Nice. Think we can wrap the classics up for now.
Yeah, let's start them already.
Yeah.
Enough talking. Just right. So yeah, we can just wrap that up, the Spring Classics. I think we just can all agree we're excited. We have Milano-San Remo on the calendar, and we're excited that the Spring Classics are starting upcoming Saturday.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Then further beyond cycling, but you already explained us your daily schedule, your daily routine as a DS. So it's maybe a strange question we're gonna ask you now, but who is Stijn Steels beyond cycling? If you have any spare time left, actually, have any hobbies we should know about?
Actually, my life is already quite complicated. No, my girlfriend is a really good photographer, so she's also traveling every day. So actually, all my spare time goes to the kids. That's what it is, but it's already a gigantic puzzle for us to see that there's always someone who can put them in bed. It's always a miracle if possible. So actually, I don't have a lot of spare time. I'm a bit quite interested in more economic and financial things. I'm already a whole day with my head in cycling, so it's not that I'm extra going to listen to more podcasts of cycling or read more books about cycling. I like to do that, yeah. That's a bit, but like I said today, of course, from when I was a little kid, I followed cycling, and I'm always happy to be around in the cycling world. But when I'm home, yeah, all my time always go to my two little kids, and always progress thinking about improving the team and improving the girls and where we can help them. That's a bit, not a lot of hobbies actually. I try to run a bit, but once I do 2 or 3 runs, I'm injured, so I have to restart over and over and over and over again. So no progression in that. I just keep on struggling a bit. And actually, that's about it. You quite have a boring life next to cycling. But
And maybe another question, Stijn. Is it possible for you to switch off from cycling?
No, that's not possible. I think even when I stopped cycling and then I studied for a year again, did not a job at Holland, but I always kept my mind in cycling. Yeah, sometimes I also do like still doing some commentating work on television and stuff like that. I think it will get less and less because I'm always away in the races, but I also love to do that. But somehow I'm always connected with the cycling world.
Mm-hmm.
That's an easy switch to our next question then, actually, because you're born and raised in cycling, Stijn. So what's the best thing cycling has brought in your life so far?
I think as a young kid, you learn a lot from it just to be independent. I think talked about it even today, that sometimes you're in a race and let's say you're 16 years old, you're in the middle of France, you get dropped and they just leave you on your own and try to get to the finish line. If you're 12 years old and you ride your bike and suddenly it's freezing cold there, you're almost crying on your bike, but you still need to get home. So you learn a little bit of toughness. That's always welcome. But then most of all, cycling is freedom. You see the world. You actually do what you want to do. You're in a sport where you can train with friends, not like, for example, swimming or where you just do it on your own. But you do what you want. Actually, you just have your training schedule, but you do what you want. You go out training where you want. You're always outside. So that makes and you see the world. That's why also we
Do
really
you
wanted to do
actually,
was
Stan? Or do you see the cycling
yeah.
carousel? Yeah.
No, but
Yeah.
of course, as now as the ST more than do as cyclists. But still, you always have impressions of the world. Think I raced maybe in 30 different countries, and you always get a little bit of an impression of it, and that's what I like. And then the atmosphere of winning in a team and celebrating it together after a race, and that's the thing I love about this sport. And and it's fun. It's fun to do.
Nice. And then we have these questions we ask every guest. How do you think women's cycling has evolved in the recent years?
Well, I think it took huge steps. I think just again, if you see today, the staff we have, it's exactly the same as the male staff. So we have 2 trainers, we have nutritionists, we have a psychologist in a team. We have 4 DSs, we have, I think, 5 or 6 mechanics, 5 or 6 soigneurs. And 3 years ago, it was just a team with 1 DS, 1 mechanic, 1 soigneur, and that was it. So the level of the sport went deep up. I think only, of course, the level of most cyclists went up, but I think a lot of girls still have to grow too, because now it goes so fast in women's cycling that I hope everybody can follow. Because if you don't, you see in races, there's still a lot of imbalance in races. Definitely when you see those Belgian races, or when you start a climb, you start top riders, they go full gas, and in the back immediately 20% of the budget drop. That's what you don't see in men's cycling, and that will have to change in women's cycling. I think they also need to learn more how to race, because they give some really nice races, and classics will be really nice. But I mostly have the impression that it's the course that's decide what the race is going to do instead of the girls itself. That's something they have to learn to dare to race. It's also one thing I always say to my own team: dare to race. It's not because it's a flat road that you can't do anything. But I think it has huge potential. Bigger and bigger sponsors are coming to women's cycling. Like I say, new races. San Remo is there. Almost all races are covered now on television, which is huge. But now it's up to youths and to new cyclists to just keep on feeding the bunch and to keep growing. And then I think it can have, in the next 5 years, in future it can be as popular as men's cycling.
Then, like you said, then the sport grew a lot. But there's still some room, a lot of room for improvement, I think. So what are your takeaways there? What's the biggest improvement that still has to be done from your point of view?
Well, it's not what I said before. I think now the girls also need to realize that now they are really surrounded by hyper professionals, and also they need to step up a bit, and they also need to dare to race. And like I said, the top riders, these are top athletes. But I sometimes have a feeling there's sometimes still riders in the bunch that don't realize how lucky they are to get all those surroundings, and they also need to step up and try to make races attractive. Because now sometimes like in Australia, we had races, the men did the same course, and it was pure spectacle and always big breaks of 20 guys in front, taken back 15 guys. And the women were just racing, and I think they had 35 km an hour average, and they sprinted to the finish line. And that's something, if you want to keep the viewers or spectators on television, keep them motivated to watch, which is really important, then they also need to learn how to make races entertaining. And they do most of the time, so the course is there, but on more easy courses, they need to dare how to race. That's a bit the only thing that needs to be, that I want to change in the cycling.
Good. Thank you for that, Stijn. Then to finally wrap it up, Stijn, you're almost done. What can we wish you for in 2025? It's already end of February, but still, for you personally.
For me personally, I think sport-wise, like I said, Milan-San Remo, and then I want to do it. I want to do it in the races where I'm the end. They can win Tour de Flanders or whatever they want, but I want to be in the car. And then I think if we can do Tour de France, if we can, it's still the most important in cycling. Again, take a victory there. Hopefully a really good GC with, for example, Sarah 15 that goes again for some kind of jersey. Now we will have a really good year. And then if my kids go to bed early, it's also something you can wish for me. And then I will have a good year.
Not only go to bed early, but that they stay in bed as well.
That they stay in bed, well, most important.
And any final thoughts, shout-outs, or special thanks you want to deliver, Stijn, before we wrap this up?
Oh, yeah, thanks to you, actually. Because I think women's cycling, I know a new star from Twitter. I think she's still very young, but she has the heart to promote women's cycling. I think it's quite important what you are doing. I think the views you have from women's cycling were really interesting, also for me. I think I learned quite a lot of it. So thank you for putting all the attention in women's cycling. And I hope your podcast keeps on growing.
That's our goal, Stijn. It was very nice to have a male guest in our women's cycling podcast.
Voilà.
That's very unique. I'm not alone for once. That's good. Some mental support. Thank you for that. So Stijn, we wish you all the best for the upcoming classics and beyond, of course. And we wish you that win in Milano-San Remo. That's what I take away from everything you told us.
Voilà. Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
Okay, great. See you.
Bye.
That's a wrap for episode 17 of She Rides. Thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the rides.
Absolutely, and women's cycling is packed with action, and we're here to bring you every twist and turn.
Be sure to subscribe on Spotify, Amazon Music or YouTube so you don't miss upcoming episodes. And if you like today's show, a rating, like or comment really helps us reach more listeners.
Follow us on Blue Sky and Instagram for behind-the-scenes updates, our Guess the Guest game, and more.
Thanks to Stijn for joining us today, and don't hesitate to share your questions or topics you'd like us to cover.
And stay tuned for more exciting guests and join our prediction competition. Tag She Rides Podcast on Blue Sky to show off your knowledge. And don't forget, She Rides is powered by KRM Endurance Coaching.
Thanks for listening to She Rides, where women's cycling takes lead. Keep watching the fun. I will catch you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.